Wellesley Mom. I've got my baking apron on, my holiday one that my mother-in-law made for me, and today we're going to make candy cane cookies. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get a 1.5 sticks of unsalted softened butter. We'll put that in there and mix that up. And now I'm going to add a cup of sugar to the butter. And now I'm going to put in an egg, 1 egg. And once those 3 ingredients are all incorporated, I'll start adding the dry ingredients, which is 1 3/4 cups of flour, a 1/2 cup of cocoa, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and that's it. Put this in here, add a little at a time. The dough is can be a little bit dry. What it looks like when it's all mixed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit in the refrigerator for a little bit. So I'm going to wrap it all up in saran wrap and put it in the fridge. Okay, now I'm just going to put this on this little piece of saran wrap so I can wrap it in, put it in the refrigerator. So you can see this consistency of the dough is a little bit crumbly, almost like sand. Put this in the refrigerator and let it sit. If you want to make it that day, let it sit for an hour. It can sit up for 3 days in the refrigerator. If you want it for longer, you want to keep it for longer, put it in the freezer. I already have some dough that I made a few days ago, and so I'm just going to use this to make the cookies. And I'll leave the other in there for a couple days. My dough here, and it's a little bit cold, so I need a knife to kind of cut them into even pieces. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to make them into little squares, maybe like almost an inch, and it's not an exact science. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll them into little balls. I'm going to put the balls on the sheet like that. So once your cookies are all rolled out, I'm going to flatten them. And I have tried a lot of different ways. I've tried, dipping the glass in sugar and then squishing them down, but I find that it doesn't really work. So I'm using my thumb to make a little indent in them. So they're like thumbprint cookies. So I'm just going to go like this. Okay, this is what they look like after I've done the thumbprints on all of them. And now I'm just going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 6 to 7 minutes. And you're able to put them so close together because these cookies really don't spread out. They pretty much stay in the shape that we've made them into. Now, I have my buttercream frosting, which is another part of the cookie. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some food coloring to it to make it like a pinky color, pinky reddish, Pepto-Bismol color. Oops, that's a little much, but that's okay. We're going to mix that up. And then I'm going to add some peppermint to this frosting. And just like a tiny little bit usually goes a long way. So you can smell it as soon as you put it in. It smells like peppermint. I think we're good. So that's what the frosting looks like. I just took my cookies out of the oven and they're just cooling right now. And I have my frosting there, and the last step is crushing some candy canes. So I put 3 candy canes. I took the wrapping off and I placed them in the Ziploc bag. And now I'm just going to crush them. Just like this. Gently. You don't have to go hard. Now the cookies have cooled and we're going to assemble the cookies now. It's going to be like a little sandwich with like a little candy cane surprise. So I'm just putting a little bit of frosting on one cookie, and then I'm putting the 2 halves together with the frosting in the middle, and then just going around like that. So it makes a cute little sandwich. And then I'm going to do that for all of these cookies. Nothing screams holiday like these cookies here. I'm so excited about them. This is about half of the dough that we made today. So if you were to use the entire batch of dough, you would have about 60 cookies. So now I'm going to call in somebody who might want to taste these. Sarah, come on over here. Can you try one of these cookies for me and tell me what you think?
pepperminty.
Peppermint.
Really good.
All right. Well, that's all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.